popping? Real ones, Logan Murdoch here. Raja Beck there. Raja. Keep that in. Raja Beck. I'll be fucking up, bro. I'll be fucking up. Raja Bell here, taken, Friday man. Vibes. Huh?
No offense taken. Howard's a G.
He's a G. I'm sorry. Yeah. I called Howard Bell during the fucking pod.
You got baby brain. You got baby brain, dog.
Oh my God, bro. Oh God. It's just you over there. You right over there on the screen that I'm talking to. You are my co-host today. The big thing that's the headline right now is Anthony Davis was asked what he wanted to see out of the front office. And Anthony Davis says, I want a center, because, the team needs a center because, back when the 2020 title, we had Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. And I feel like I just play so much better, when I have a center to play alongside. And while that is, I get what he's saying. He just ain't, that was just cue to me that, I really ain't trying to guard these big motherfuckers night in and night out. That's what I got from this, right? I mean, because the numbers clearly suggest and tell us time and time again that he's better at the 5. And the team
offensively,
he's better at the 5.
No, I'm asking, kind of saying that, right? Like most of the numbers support him being better at the 5. Okay,
all around, and
okay,
and even what he did fail to say was during the 2022 playoffs. We know this because we were there. That's when we first, kind of got in our bag, Raja. But during the 2020 finals was. He played the majority of the crunch time minutes at 5. When all the chips were down, he was the 5. Whether he much to his chagrin, but also they won a title. So I think he's conflating two things. What does this tell you? Is it actually going to help, or is this a bit self-serving for him? Just I don't want to guard Jokic all the damn time. Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, I think both things can be true. I mean, it's self-serving, but it could be beneficial to the team. I wish I had seen the numbers. A lot of times I think when we talk about players scaling up a position, like how effective LeBron is, let's say at the 4, or like when Sean Marion used to play with us, and Mike would always have the dilemma. Mike D'Antoni would always have the dilemma of 3 or 4, and Tricks didn't like the 4 necessarily because of the label of a power forward versus small forward. But
he definitely let that be known when he was on the podcast that he did.
Yeah, straight up. But the offensive production on all the numbers supported us and him offensively as being really good at the 4, right? So when you usually talk about scaling a guy up a position, I think a lot of times the offensive numbers reflect that, right? Because you just get a matchup where you can kind of, especially in today's game, probably outmaneuver the bigger player that you're scaling up to play against. So I would say both things can be true, right? He might be able to really play well at the 5 defensively as well. But do you want to, against more punitive bigs like Jokic, who will take you down there in the paint and really be physical, do you want him to have to do that for most of the game? And what does that do to him over the course of, a season or a series, let's say, in a smaller sample size when the money's on the line? You're playing every second or third night, what type of toll does that take on AD to have to dole out that type of physicality defensively for the entire game? And he has the burden of scoring the most points and being the focal point of the offense. So while he can do it, I could make the case and support him saying, hey, look, you get a bigger body in here to take some of that responsibility away from me for most of the night, or at least, some of the night. It allows me to be fresher for both sides of the ball when you need me, right? So I think both things can be true a little bit.
I agree with you. I think that, and I think this is something that the Lakers should have at least broached over the offseason, right? They're not to say, and we're going to get into who the Lakers can acquire at the deadline, or maybe in the waiver wire after the trade deadline. We'll see what happens, but I agree with him in the sense that you probably need a center for times like this, right? On a Thursday in January. You probably, man, I don't want to guard all the time for 6 months, a guy, a big down the stretch, and be expected to be this big type player, or expected to take a big load of the offensive pie. And I get what he's saying on that. He's not wrong. Um, but I don't know how much also in the grand scheme with this Lakers team, because he was talking, it was interesting to watch the interview. He was talking like, yo, this is going to be the move that can, put us over the top. Like, we want to win a title this year. We want to win a title this year. And I'm looking to see the teams that the Lakers could beat to get there, and I just don't see it, right? And I love his optimism for it, and I don't expect anything less from a competitor like AD. But I don't know, just presently constructed, like where this Lakers team can go with or without that big, going forward. Even if they do get it right, like I think it's more than just they're playing really good basketball right now, but this team isn't built for a deep playoff run, no matter what. I don't think.
Yeah, I was on a buddy's show yesterday, and he asked me about the Lakers, and this was before the AD comments, or before I was aware of the AD comments, and he asked me about the Lakers, if they've, because of recent success and just the way they're playing, like what did I think the ceiling was for them? Did it move the needle for me? And I answered similarly to the way you just did. Like, even before we get a big, I would say, look, yeah, I get it. You're sitting there hovering in and around striking distance in the Western Conference. I just don't feel it, though. It's a hard thing for me to explain and put into words. Like, I just don't feel that from them. And whatever big you were talking about bringing in, I don't see him being the answer to that feeling that I have. That like, you get a complimentary big, I don't think gets you over the hump in the Western Conference. I don't think that's the missing piece for a title run for the Lakers, just personally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the standings right now, man. Like, they're fifth in the Western Conference. Who would they play if the playoffs ended today? They play the Denver Nuggets. We know how that goes, right? They're better off getting bumped down. Like, they're better off getting bumped down to the sixth seed and playing the Grizzlies. But like, even then, even if they beat the Grizzlies, like, I don't see them doing a deep playoff run. Like, everything would have to go great. Now, from a perspective of who you would get, right? Like, we still got to. I think if AD says something like this at this time, right as the trade deadline is happening, I think you got to kind of at least make a move, an ancillary piece to get a big. I mean, this team is really thin behind him, right? And I do not like the front court when they take AD out at all. It is not great, right? So I'm gonna throw some names. You get Vucevic.
Yeah. Would I get him? What am I mean, in a vacuum? What would I give up?
No, I'm just.
But yes. The answer is Vucevic. Yes.
That's interesting because I say no.
Okay, why?
Terrible defensively, and I don't know if they can coexist together. Like, terrible defensively, right? So I don't know. I don't know Vucevic. So yes, we split on Vucevic.
Okay.
Jonas Valanciunas.
I mean, anything you say to me in that vein of player, I'm probably going to tell you yes. Anything of that level, kind of NBA player, whatever level you want to call that, I'm going to say yes to the Lakers. Like, and I'm not even. I understand your point about defensive prowess or lack thereof, but we're talking about big, accomplished bodies that we can throw out there in a way. And you were just before that, you were talking about their depth and what you think of their front line when he's not out there. So I don't have the luxury of getting into specifics necessarily, like game type and numbers. So like, if you give me those type of guys, I'm probably gonna say yes to you. So what would your answer be to?
Valanciunas, yes, but my last one I think would be like the one. I think Clint Capella is the one that is like perfect for what they need. I think because
huh? Yeah. I mean, tiered. Yeah, I take him before I took the other two.
Yeah, just because like he can, like, if that's what you're asking for, because if you're asking for like a guy like Dwight Howard, I mean, Clint Capella is no Dwight Howard in terms of like career trajectory, but like, he is somebody that can do exactly what the Lakers need at this point, which is block shots, catch lobs, get the hell out of AD's way when it's time to. Like I think that the other two maybe little bit more redundant. If Clint's not there, I wouldn't mind Valanciunas. Like I think that's a good medium between the two. We'll see what happens. I get what he's saying. He's right. Lakers, go listen to your star. For now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the part that we didn't talk about with that is what is it going to cost you? Like, and if the price isn't like, it's not hurting your wallet too much, then I would say, yeah, if the price is less than palatable, again, maybe I don't know what you do as the Lakers.
I don't know, Cam Reddish, some other like Max Christie, and
if we're talking about like
a pick or something like that, like something.
Yeah, if it's not hurting your pockets, yes. Like, but I
all
wouldn't
these teams,
be. I guess
want picks. Like the Wizards would just want picks. They don't really care about necessarily winning. They just want to take like stockpile at this point.
Right. I guess my point would be, again, having said, I don't know that necessarily gets you over the hump. But I like Clint Capella though. Like that was the name I didn't. Yeah, I like Clint Capella. Yeah. I mean, if you could take a swing at it and it's not hurting you, go ahead.